Good afternoon, everyone, to the online workshop 2 on day 2 of 4th GSMC conference. And now I would like to call the Dr. Khushbu Khurana, the convener of this 4th GSMC conference, to introduce our guest speaker, Professor Narendra Singh Chaudhary.
Very good afternoon, sir. The topic on which Dr. Narendra is going to have the session is equity at the workplace, roadmap to organizational success. Dr. Narendra Singh Chaudhary has more than 14 years of experience in the field of management education. He has done his PhD in the field of human resource management from Punjabi University, Patiala. He has worked with various organizations of repute like Symbiosis International University, Amity University, Lovely Professional University, and many more. Before joining the Soil School of Business Design as an associate professor, his research interests lie in the domain of HRM and OB on topics like whistleblowing intentions, higher education, LGBT, and allied areas. He has published many articles in the journal of repute listed in Scopus and ABDC, ESCI, etc., like International Journal of Law, Management, Applied Research in Higher Education, International Journal of Business and Globalization, to name a few. He has published cases in Case Center and articles in leading HR magazines regularly, along with the book chapters with leading publishers like Taylor and Francis, IGI Global. He has edited books and currently acting as a guest editor for many journals listed in Scopus and ABDC. He has been invited as a guest speaker to deliver an expert lecture as part of webinar series on the topic, Role of Leaders and HR in COVID-19. His teaching areas are human resource management, organization behavior, industrial relations, cross-cultural management, talent management, and economics. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
So, yes, sir. So you can share your screen, sir.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Khushbu, for inviting me, first of all, and for a great introduction that you're giving to me. So I'm highly obliged for that. And thank you, Delhi Metropolitan College, for inviting me for this masterclass. And so very good afternoon to everyone. So today I will try to discuss the given topic, that is equity at the workplace, roadmap to organizational success. So I think we are talking a lot about equity, especially at the workplace equity nowadays a lot. And this has become a buzzword. So why we are talking about equity and why it has become so crucial in today's era, especially when we're talking about AI, we're talking about machine learning, we're talking about virtual reality, we're talking about ChatGPT. So when we are having such an intersection of machines and the humans, at that point of age, why equity is becoming such a concern? Because largely it has been felt that, okay, more and more technology inclusion in our lives, definitely will try to bring in more transparencies. But somewhere that whether such kind of things that are happening, the kind of the things that are happening in the today's corporate world, the things that are evolving, and the lot many challenges that are coming up, and the way you can say the HR landscape is changing, and the organizational functioning and the working has changed over the period of time. Definitely, there are a lot many questions that has been raised, that especially that how we can achieve organizational success. And I think the first way that we can do is just to maintain the equity in the workplace. So how to deal with it? Let's move ahead. Okay, so this will be the flow of the presentation. First, and then let's start. So when you're talking about today's in a diverse and globalized world, so it is very important to embrace, you can say, the equity so that we can foster the sense of belongingness among the critical components for organization success. And we all agree that if we really want that the organizations need to be more successful, need to be more inclusive, And definitely, if we really wanted, people should be more productive, they should be more committed, they should be more engaged, which is a major concern of the organization today's time. It's very, very important that we need to focus on equity. Now, many organizations are actually waking up and they are realizing the power of embracing equity so that they can get the best talent in the market for their organizations. And moreover, because now we can see that we are working with a diverse, you can say, workforce, and which is coming from the various walks of life. And definitely, it has become imperative for us to determine the new equity and the inclusive playbook for the employees so that they can grow and they can nurture themselves, and definitely they can contribute to the organization's success. I'll share one report which is done by Indeed, which is the report titled The Uncovering Blind Spots, Outlook on Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging in Indian Workplaces, in which 77% of Indian employers believe that yes, diversity, inclusion, and belonging are the very crucial aspects for organization performance. But the very important aspect is that we always want that, okay, we want to achieve equity in the workplace, but it's a very complex phenomenon. It doesn't seem as simple. We want to achieve many things, but at times we are not able to. Because there are systemic divides which are there. There are implicit biases, or you can say the subconscious biases, which appears at times. And at times they are preventing and acting as a roadblock to provide, you can say, equitable opportunities for employees. So, although there are many organizations which are trying to create, or you can say they're trying to work to create more diverse teams, or you can say companies that still struggle, but how we can create that inclusive environment. And the question arises here is how to create equity at workplace. Now, this is the thing which HRs, you can say the organizations are actually struggling in today's time. And somewhere this has also given us to lot many, you can say, HR professionals, even to the HR professionals and even to the industry mentors that, okay, how we can create equity at workplace and how we can take an advantage of, you can say, diverse workforce in the organizations. Now, so when we talk about, if I ask this question to you people, so how many of you feel that, okay, your workplace is very fair? So I think we need not to say, but somewhere, as per the Gallup, less than 3 in 10 employees, that is 28%, believe that their organization is fair to everyone. That means the number is quite low. That means there is a lot of unfairness in the organization. And this is a concerning fact because it is very hard to imagine that your team can only be productive, or you can say it can be effective when unfair treatment is not there in commonplace. So at times, if there is a inequity in place, so definitely your productivity, your commitment, your engagement levels, definitely these things are getting affected. Now, definitely organizations have to go a long way to achieve a fair and equitable workplace where everyone feels that they are treated with respect. But largely, it happens that major reasons you can say is diversity and inclusion efforts that flounder at times. So what exactly equity is and how do we practice that in the workplace? Let's just see that how LinkedIn is doing it. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
At LinkedIn, we're on our journey towards diversity, inclusion, and belonging. And we embarked on this journey many years ago, but this past year has given us even more determination and commitment to create equal access to opportunity and help drive equitable outcomes for our employees, our members, and our customers. Now, when we talk about equity, we mean acknowledging and mitigating biases that prevents the realization of a person's full potential, such that an equitable outcome is one where every individual from every demographic has an opportunity to reach their full potential. This is core to our mission and North Star here at LinkedIn. We wholeheartedly believe diverse and inclusive workforces lead to better business results and more economic opportunity for all of us. Now, we've heard from many of you that recruiting and retaining underrepresented talent is a key business priority, but also an area that you're looking for more support, tools, and better practices. And we're focused on this as well. First, we've increased our investment in responsible AI. We've doubled down on our efforts to measure the impact of our products with the goal of ensuring that they don't reinforce social inequalities. And we've developed systems for auditing algorithmic fairness. Some of these tools we've open sourced, making them available for other companies to leverage. Also, we're intentionally building features that promote equity, diversity, and inclusion, as well as identifying and addressing potential biases in our existing products so that we can build a more inclusive platform. Now, one of the ways we'll do this is by asking our members how they identify so that we can gather the data to help achieve these equity goals. Lastly, we found that qualified candidates may often be overlooked in hiring due to unconscious bias, like relying on a candidate's name or photo to evaluate their qualifications. To help mitigate this bias, in the recruiter flow, we're giving talent teams the ability to elect to have candidate pictures and names hidden from recruiters and hiring managers, ultimately helping teams focus on what's most important: skills and experience. Now, these are just a few of the updates we at LinkedIn are working on to help you find the best, most representative and diverse talent to fill your open roles. Our teams are working tirelessly to bring more tools and resources to support our customers' goals, and we look forward to sharing more information as we continue this journey together.
Okay, so this was one example that how LinkedIn is trying to create a difference and how they are trying to just make a LinkedIn a better place where they can mitigate, you can say, the risk of biases, you can say, and how they can create an equitable workplace. So what is equity? So when we talk about the equity, you can say in the workplace is about giving every employee the necessary resources they need to have access to opportunities. But largely we talk about equality. So when the Gallup defines the equity as a fair treatment and access and advancement for each person in an organization as per their requirement. So when we talk about the equity, it is all about recognizing employees, you can say, who are coming with different backgrounds, from different needs they are having, they're having different circumstances. They're addressing the imbalances of opportunities that are available to them. So equality, equity, and social justice, they become very, very important. So generally, when we are talking about the workplace equity, so we are often summarizing it as bringing out about gender pay. That generally we can see that women are paid less in comparison to their male counterparts and advancements in their career. But equity as a core concept also looks at the other underlying trends also, like, for example, unconscious biases, for example, diversity divide. When we talk about when we are having certain kind of stereotypes towards certain people or certain religion, certain caste, creed, gender, sexual orientation. So these are certain things that impact the employee performance. And definitely when we are talking about the equity, we are also talking about that these facts and aims to distribute or allocate all resources and opportunities evenly to create a level playing field where everybody is getting that kind of opportunity where they can showcase their best talent which has been there. So just one more just video just to quickly understand what the concept is basically talking largely about.
Let's get the conversation started. Equity is not the same as equality. What if the shoe industry designed all shoes to fit an average size? What if they made all shoes equal? That sounds ridiculous because we are all different sizes. We don't try to make everyone fit the same shoe. We design for variability. That's equity. Each person is provided access to what is needed. To further illustrate this point, consider giving everyone the same box to stand on to look over a fence. This is equality, but it doesn't make any sense to give someone something to stand on if it's not needed. Instead, we want to provide what is actually needed for each person to have access. This is illustrated in this image as the first person. The second person got just what was needed. The third person in this illustration gets assistance, but it doesn't solve the issue. Consider this picture. This is equity. Each person gets what is needed in order to provide access. What is needed varies between circumstances. Resources are allocated differently to allow everyone opportunities for success. But what if there was a way to remove the barrier for everyone? Instead of providing resources, we consider how to remove the barrier for all. Equity is promoting justice, impartiality, and fairness within the procedures, processes, and distribution of resources by institutions or systems. This is justice. You already know examples of this through universal design, cuts in the sidewalks, changing the font size or contrast on your phone, and buttons to open doors automatically are all examples of removing barriers for all. Universal design not only provides access for those with a disability, but it benefits everyone. Considering barriers, looking for options to remove barriers, and providing access for all are all examples of promoting equity. Change starts from within. Keep engaging and learning to make a difference. Let's continue the conversation.
So I think they're talking about, let's continue with the conversation. That simply means that we are talking about so many things that, okay, organizations trying to make the workplace better, and they're trying to provide, you can say, the better opportunities to the underrepresented, you can say, the minorities which are there in the organizations. But is that something sufficient? Or I think we need to do something extra. So I think it just to understand this particular, from this particular picture also, and from that particular video also, that what equality and equity is all about. So after this, I think we need to understand that equality, we talk a lot about that, okay, the women and male should be treated equally. But somewhere we have to understand that the equity is more important, just to understand, so that we can allocate the resources which is based on the need, because everyone has different circumstances. Because if we are just trying to promote more equality, in that case, there might be some people who might get underrepresented. And definitely the kind of performance that we are looking from our people, definitely that we will not going to get that. And definitely when you're talking about, for example, you can say that when it comes to the workplace and organization that posts a job opening for leadership position. So the job posting is open for anyone to apply, and applicants will be judged based on their merits. But when you talk about this word, and like that is my question to you here in this particular presentation, this is a case for equality or equity. What do people feel? Anyone? So largely when we talk about this particular situation, when we talk about the merits and all that, definitely there's a case of equity. Like for example, I'll just give you in front of you. For example, when you talk about as the holiday season approaches, so as an HR manager, for example, you try to coordinate with the employees taking time off. Now you are saying that, okay, we are having Diwali holidays, for example, or we are having holidays during the Christmas time and all that. But what about the people who are not celebrating these particular festivals, for example? Like for example, I'm a Christian, so I am not very much, you can say, keen to celebrate Diwali, for example. Or being a Hindu, I'm not very keen to celebrate Christmas for that point of time. But you are having a holiday slot at particular time. So what do you think? This is equality or equity? Definitely, it is an equality that you're trying to provide holidays, you can say, to all the employees, but you're not actually considering their, you can say, individual needs. So there might be. So equity will only be there when you are encouraging people to take time off according to their individual needs, you can say, as per their cultural and religious events, for example, and not only around Christmas. So are we doing that? Are we doing that kind of personalization and customization of the policies, you can say in the policies of HR, for example? And are we trying to create that kind of environment in the organization where the people can speak freely and where they can actually raise their concerns, and where the organizations are actually taking into consideration the issues of the people and they're acting upon it? Similarly, when you're talking about the benefit plans also, so when you're admitting the benefit plan also for the first time in a company, so definitely you are saying that, okay, these are the benefits that you're providing to all the employees in our organization. So definitely equality is a good thing, but definitely the kind of benefit plans, for example, if you are just creating here, that might not serve my purpose. So somewhere when you talk about the equity is largely talking about individualization. It is largely talking about personalization, though it seems difficult, but it's actually not. So how we can be flexible in our approach, how we can actually create you can say the HR policies, how we can create the organization environment in such a manner where the people are actually getting their personalized things in a manner which actually boosts their performance. Now, inequity prevails. Definitely, yes, inequity prevails. So when we talk about equity, so always there are so many issues which are related to fairness. Like for example, if it's about opportunities for advancement and fairness in daily work experiences, what is happening? At times we used to blame that, okay, this person got promoted because he's having, you can say, some favoritism from the boss, or you can say he belongs to so-and-so community. That is why this person is getting promoted. So at times when we see that, okay, there are people who are getting discriminated, like for example, the person is really good in his work, but that person belongs to, you can say, LGBT community, and but people are having some, you can say, homophobic things towards them, and definitely they are not liking it. So at times it happens they might not get promoted. Or for example, that many people are having conservative thoughts. Okay, women are not to be given, you can say, the very senior position or the serious roles in the organizations. So because they are not very serious about their career or something like that. So somewhat you can say because of our own biases, we are putting our traditional job selection criteria. So definitely we need to work on all those particular aspects. We have to have a certain mentor or a sponsor of candidacy, you can say, where we can actually promote the right talent in the right place so that we can get the right kind of promotion. And moreover, when we talk about the organization need to have an inclusive culture. And definitely, but pay and benefits favor men over women. And that is the so many research studies have happened in the past also where it has been found that the women are paid less. And recently, like 2 to 3 years back, Adobe has made a change in their policy where they have said that, okay, if both males and females, they are working on the same position to across the globe, wherever they are having offices, both males and females will be paid, you can say, equally. So now this is very important. Although we are having, as per the industrial laws, also we are talking about the Equal Remuneration Act 19. Equal Remuneration Act is also saying that okay, we need to pay equal wages or equal salary to the irrespective to the person, irrespective of his or her gender. But largely, what is happening that women are paid less and males are getting paid more. So is this what we are talking about inclusivity or this is equity? Definitely not. So we need to question our dogmas. We need to question our work ethics that we are having in the organizations. So definitely we have to understand that, okay, how organizations and their workplaces are actually treating, you can say, like, for example, workplace culture is treating like childcare, maternity leave. At times it happens that the women, when they are just proceeding towards the maternity leave, so at times many opportunities also get taken away from them because largely people are having this understanding that okay, if she is going on a maternity leave, she might not return back to the organization. So the why she should be promoted or why she should be given the pay raise. Or when it comes to work from home flexibility or when it comes to family obligations, so these are actually creating an unfair workplace environment. I'll give you some insights from the recent research that I have conducted on the maternity benefits. But what are the perception of the people, especially the employer and the male colleagues, you can say, in the organization regarding the maternity benefits which are being given? So it has been seen that many people take that, okay, yes, as you could see that in the like in the Maternity Benefits Act to 1961, so amendment was made in 2017. As per that, now the leaves for the maternity has been increased from 12 weeks to 26 weeks. So definitely that's a great step because definitely we can ensure that many women will going to step up and definitely they can continue with their careers. But at times it is also backfiring. Why? Because at many places, many employers don't want to hire them in the very first place. Because at times during the hiring also, the first question to them is that, okay, when you are planning to have a family, or for example, if she is single, so then they might be asking that, okay, so when you're going to get married. So somewhere they are feeling it as an obligation, they are feeling it as a liability rather than they're not treating that as a talent that can actually helping the organization creating better inclusive workplaces. So definitely these are certain things and certain issues which are still yet to be I think talked about because we just talk about it, okay. And when we talk about diversity, when we talk about inclusivity, it's not only about women, let me tell you very frankly, because it's also about inclusivity is also talking about including the people from the diverse backgrounds, from the diverse culture, you can say, from the diverse religion, from the diverse sexual orientation because no research has shown that okay the women your gender your age your sexual orientation all these things are actually impacting you can say your work performance or your productivity at workplace. So somewhere we have to understand that okay what are the things that are actually creating unfair workplace environment because ultimately when there's an unfair workplace environment and when people are actually not very happy about it your good talents start leaving. So such kind of things need to be prevented. And somewhere we have to create those kind of office rules and norms. You can say maybe the same for everyone, but those rules may be like we have seen that we are having policies, but the same policies you can say are benefiting some people and they're harming some people. So somewhere we have to understand as an organization, as you can say as a management, that okay, what kind of policies we are having in place is it actually creating equity or it is actually creating more divide within the organization? So are we moving in the direction of DEI, or actually we are creating an issue further and dampening, you can say the gaps that are already existing within the organizations? So, like for example, so we can say in this way there is equality. So everyone is treated the same. So when you talk about that, okay, if you have to hire somebody for the leadership position, so merit, when it comes to merit, no, the merit is having a different kind of story it is telling. It can be a college degree. That might be a person is getting selected on the basis of the college degree. You can say from the candidate selected based on university admission decisions from a decades ago. Like largely it is happening. Now, 10 years of industry experience, for example, so you are trying to get some people, you can say, or industry culture from a decade ago. So there are certain biases of hiring managers. Then there could be employer referrals, there could be leadership experiences. So when you talk about the merit, so merit is also having a different understanding by different kind of people. And definitely these kind of, you can say, subconscious biases definitely play a very, very important role. And definitely they act as a hindrance, you can say, in creating an equitable workplace for everyone in the organization. So why equity matters actually? Now, this is a question. So your diversity problem may be an equity problem. So you say that, okay, we are doing so well. Like, for example, you have seen the LinkedIn video. So in which they're talking about it, okay, see, these are the kind of steps that we are trying to take so that we can actually create an equitable workplace. So we are using technology. We are trying to, you can say, promote the diverse communities in our organization so that they can get the fair chance. But in actual, is that suffice? That's the question. Organization are still struggling, you can say, to retain and promote diverse candidates. That may need to be more proactive about investing in training and mentoring or networking connections for historically marginalized group. And for that matter, I'll just mention here, I was recently reviewing one research paper, and that was about that, okay, if there's a gender diversity, you can say, in the board of directors, largely if we are having more females, you can say, in the board of directors. So what do you feel, that is it actually helping out, or is it actually impacting the performance of the bank? And lot of researches was quoted in that particular research paper that have shown that yes, if you are having a more diverse, you can say, team member, especially when you are having a diverse genders in your board of directors, and definitely when you're having the female directors, definitely decision making is better, and definitely you're in a better situation to mitigate the risk. So definitely there are ample examples, but still we are lagging behind. And all the organizations are trying their level best so that they can actually patch up this kind of divide, but still there's a lot of things to be done. And then your inclusion problem may be an equity problem because you want to be more inclusive, you can say. And because when you talk about inclusivity, the first thing that comes in place is respect. See, everybody wants to get respected. So if you are not respecting your people, if you and so definitely what happens, they will don't going to feel that kind of belongingness to the organization. And when they are not feeling that kind of belongingness, so what will happen? Ultimately, they will start leaving because their commitment level, their engagement level, everything will going to get affected, and ultimately they will going to leave. And that is why these terms like quiet quitting is happening. Quiet quitting generally, as you might be knowing, that the employee is putting the bare minimum efforts so that he can just sustain his or her job. And later or sooner, what happens that that person finally quits the organization. Now, somewhere we have to introspect, you can say, especially the organizations have to introspect their processes, their systems, that, okay, the kind of policies that we're having in place, the kind of processes that we're having in place, are we doing the right thing? And that is more important. Now, few years back, there was a study that was a project Aristotle that was done from Google. So in this, it has been shown that, okay, might be. Now, there's a question. Like, why you can say there are certain things in the organization which really perform well. So when we say that, okay, diversity is a great thing, you're going to get so many diverse perspectives and all that. But what is the core thing that actually helps, you can say, the teams in the organization to perform? So here's a small video, just I'm going to play for all of you.
Technology companies encourage their employees to work together because studies show that teams tend to innovate faster, achieve higher productivity, see mistakes more quickly, and find better solutions to problems. Yet, not every team is successful. So how do you build a highly effective team that is capable of delivering expected results? A study run by Google will shed some light on this question and help us identify traits that all successful Google teams shared. Several years ago, Google launched an internal project Aristotle, which was a huge data study focused on the teamwork. The tech giant spent millions of dollars tracking 180 separate teams for 3 years. The goal of the project was simple yet ambitious: to find out what are the traits of the highest performing teams. In other words, the company wanted to know why some teams stumbled while others soared. Initially, the researchers' hypothesis was that maybe best teams had members who liked each other a lot, or there was a healthy mix of personality types, or the team members were friends outside of work. Yet, none of these seemed to matter. The researchers could not find any meaningful patterns in the data. Basically, there was no evidence that a mix of specific personality types, or skills, or backgrounds made any difference. The who part of the equation didn't seem to matter. As the researchers continued to study the groups, they noticed two behaviors that all of the best teams shared. First is that the team members spoke in roughly the same proportion, a phenomenon the researchers call inequality in distribution of conversational turn-taking. On some teams, everyone spoke during each task, while on others, leadership shifted among teammates from assignment to assignment. But in each case, at the end of the day, everyone had spoken roughly the same amount. In other words, as long as everyone got a chance to talk, the team did well. But if only one person or a small group spoke all the time, the collective intelligence declined. Second, the good teams all had high average social sensitivity, a fancy way of saying they were skilled at reading how others felt based on their tone of voice, their expressions, and other nonverbal cues. One of the easiest ways to determine social sensitivity is to show someone photos of a person's eyes and ask to describe what that person is feeling. An exam known as the reading the mind in the eyes. People on successful teams scored about average on this test. They seemed to know when someone was feeling upset or left out. People on less effective teams, in contrast, scored below average. They seemed to be less sensitive towards their colleagues. By the end of the project, researchers came to a conclusion that it didn't matter who was on the team. What mattered was how team members treated each other. Teams where everybody talked and everybody showed respect by listening and paying attention created psychologically safe atmosphere inside the team. And psychological safety of each member in the group had a positive effect on the team's ability to succeed.
Okay, so I believe like this video has said lot many things, because somewhere when we talk about psychological safety, they have talked about. And when you talk about the psychological safety, it only comes when my team members, my organization have a faith in me. When they believe that, when they respect, you can say, the team members within the organization, irrespective, like whatever the kind of background I'm coming from, whatever the kind of like education qualification I am in. But definitely, if I'm respected, if I'm given the fair chance to speak whatever is there in my mind, and there's an equitable workplace, definitely my productivity will move. So this is the one small video from the Google, just to give you an insight that how people and how the teams actually functions well in any organizations, and how we can create a better workplace that is having an equity. Now, how DEIs are actually helping now, that's the question. So definitely DEIs are very helping us in a great manner. It is actually creating a conducive environment where people are actually feeling and creating a conducive environment, and also establish the culture of belongingness where people are feeling that, no, this is my organization. So that kind of feeling can only come when the people are feeling respected, When people are feeling included, you can say, in the kind of organization environment that you are having. Moreover, it is also essential that equitable workplace allows everyone to be treated with respect and dignity. Now, see, whether my gender is whatever the gender I'm having, whatever the race I'm coming from, whatever the kind of abilities I'm having, whatever the religion I follow, whatever is my immigration status, whatever is my sexual orientation, definitely we all need respect. So respect and dignity is uncompromisable. So definitely we need to ensure that, okay, everybody is feeling respected and the dignity is maintained. Next is that employees need to express themselves without any fear of discrimination. It should not be in the mind of the people that, okay, there need to be a psychological safety in their mind. That, okay, if I am speaking something, so people will not going to take it otherwise, and definitely they will not start judging me. I mean, definitely when you are able to do that, so definitely when you are promoting DEI, when you are promoting equity, you can say definitely you are building an environment of openness, you are building an environment of trust and mutual respect. Moreover, when you are embracing equity, it becomes a medium, you can say, where the employees feel committed and dedicated in the workplace. Largely, there's so many studies which have been there by Deloitte and so many people, and they said that the employee engagement has gone down. Hardly 30% people, you can say, out of the workforce, you can say they're engaged. So that means something is going wrong. And there are certain, you can say, a lot many studies have even shown that people who are more engaged and committed to their organization, they are more productive, their performance is much better, and such organizations are actually doing well. So when we look at the, you can say, the ratings of great places to work for, so the organizations which are featuring in the great places to work within India or maybe in the various parts of the world, they are actually having a lot of say and a lot of work they are doing in this term, that they are bringing this people first culture. And when you are having this people first culture, definitely there will be more parity. And definitely the people are having diverse thoughts. You can say they're coming together and they're discussing. And definitely they are feeling heard. So definitely they are more pro, and definitely that is helping the organizations to have the better performance. Next is employee engagement. Now, it has been shown from the various studies that the employees believe that in the workplace where the employees believe that the employer is committed to diverse and equitable, inclusive workplace, their engagement level doubles. So they exert 12% more effort, you can say, 50% more efficient they are at collaborating, and 19% they are more likely to stay with the company. So largely, we could see that there's a lot of retention issues in the organizations. There are a lot attrition levels are going all-time high. Like for example, recently in the banking sector, we could see that the attrition rate was around 34%. So that was something alarming, and definitely we have to understand that what we can do so that we can create such a workplace and we can create such an environment where people would love to stay and they're not leaving their jobs. So definitely your retention is also getting increased. So this is the study according to, you can say, the American Marketing Association. So they are saying that if you're incorporating DI policies into hiring process, definitely your retention is getting improved. Then moreover, recruitment efforts are also going better. So DI is now becoming better. And when we are having, you can say, when we are having a diverse talent, you can say, when we are onboarding that in the organizations. So definitely you are having a better competitive advantage over the less diverse and inclusive ones, because you're having a diverse perspectives. And the Google is a wonderful example in front of us. And even in the Microsoft also we could see. So all the organizations which are really doing well, so you can see they are having a lot of diversity. So as per the Randstad 2018 study, that it shows that 86% of millennial women and 78% employees surveyed in 2018, they value diversity and inclusion policies and equal workplaces. And there is also one study which I am working in, that what millennials want and why they want to get retained. So they said that, okay, we want to work in a place which is, you can say, more inclusive, where people are valuing diversity, where the people are treated with equality and the equity is maintained. And definitely performance, because we're talking about the organization success. So organization success can only be achieved when the organization performance is better, or you can say the employee performance is better. So when collective performance of the employees is better and their experiences are better, definitely their performance will be better. And definitely the initiatives of the DI policies and initiatives definitely will going to enhance the employee experience, and definitely that will going to boost the organizational performance. Definitely, when we are having a diverse viewpoints, you can say, so at that point of time, it encourages respect for the diverse viewpoints. And that has been shown in the like Aristotle project also in the Google, that when people are heard, when people are given chance to speak, so definitely you have a diverse perspectives and a diverse viewpoints, definitely, which is also very crucial for motivation. And because of this, the team is able to develop and enhance a product or service, you can say, which largely depends on its capacity to think, for example, to think innovatively and seek unconventional solutions. And during COVID, we have seen there are such a boom of, you can say, the IT products. For example, Zoom is one example. And pre-COVID and post-COVID, we have seen so many things that have came up, and definitely they are going to stay. When we talked about the hybrid work environment, so definitely earlier we were not thinking that then people had to travel all the way to their offices. But how you can say by having the remote working and the hybrid work culture, this is a kind of innovation that is actually helping the organization to save so many resources, and even it has made the life of the people better, and the flexibility is prevailing, and definitely it's a win-win situation for the organizations and for the people. Definitely collaboration we're going to have. So when I am having a sense of belongingness as an employee, so definitely my engagement level will going to go up. I will be feeling more unity, positively impacting the collaboration. I would like to collaborate with my colleagues, you can say, with a diverse and equitable inclusion environment, definitely going to help me to collaborate better in a team and to deliver the better results. Definitely customer satisfaction also moves up. So definitely, if you really want to have a better revenues, so for that, there is a saying, and generally there was a question that was asked, I think when I was doing my MBA and attending my classes also, that okay, who comes first, employees or you can say customers? So the question is very obvious that the first customers of yours is, you can say, your own employees. So if your own employees are happy, so definitely they are providing those kind of services which can actually satisfy your customers also. And when we are having a diverse set of, you can say, employees within us, so definitely they can understand the diverse needs of the people, of the diverse, you can say, customer base that we are having. So definitely we will be more responsive to customer needs. We can improve the customers' perceptions and experiences, and definitely the satisfaction level will go up. So definitely that will going to benefit, you can say, the organizations. And then the brand awareness. Definitely, the people you can say are your brand ambassadors. And definitely, when the employees are having the better treatment within the organization, when they're having the better experience in the organization, and definitely that is how your employer brand gets, you can say, created. And definitely, people are also the good talent also want to get associated with the brand, which is more conscious about their employees, you can say. So definitely, when we often choose brands based on how diverse and inclusive the marketing is. So, like largely, you have seen the kind of advertisements that are being made. So they're more holistic, you can say, and in which you're taking care of, you can say, of all the religion, of all the diverse set of people, and they try to cater to all the audiences or all the customer, you can say, customer baseline. So that is actually helping in creating brand awareness, and the largely but not least, that is the bottom line. So, as per the McKinsey study in 2012, they found that the US companies with a diverse executive board has a 95% higher return on equity. That means their share prices are going up, and definitely their equities were better, their valuations are getting better, and those lacking diversity in comparison. So I think this the reason for this isn't a mystery. So it is very well understood that okay, if you are having an equity at workplace, you are treating your people right, you are having an inclusive environment, definitely your organization success will be ensured and taken care. Moving ahead, now what is the importance of equity? So we can just understand. So first of all, the important aspect is that it ensures that your every employee receives fair and just treatment. So you have to make sure that in your organization, that every employees are feeling that okay, they are respected, they are treated fairly. There is no as such kind of discrimination against them. So that has to be ensured with the help of your policies, with your practices in place, and definitely whatever the philosophy you're carrying in the organization. After that, it's also very essential to understand that, okay, how are we able to understand the individual needs? And that is why we're talking about customization. We're talking about personalization. So if we can do personalization for our customers, can't we do it for our employees also? So we can do that. Definitely, we can win over them and we can retain them in the organization. And once the employees are retained, definitely they are contributing their level best, you can see, to the organization, and organizations are successful. So we have to understand individual needs, their circumstances, and their contributions, and are accounted for. So we need to value that. Next is we need to reduce stress levels and improve job satisfaction. So definitely when people are feeling that, okay, the organizations are doing so much for me, they're taking care of my circumstances. So definitely that kind of flexibility, that kind of inclusivity, that kind of understanding is when they're in the organizations. Definitely engagement level, commitment levels are higher, and definitely the performance level also moves up. After that, we also see that, okay, efficiency and productivity is also moving high because such people are more dedicated, because they feel that organization is taking care of their interest of themselves. So why not? And they, in short, they're taking care of the organization. As in the words of Richard Branson, you take care of people and people will take care of your business. So when we talk about the Richard Branson, so this is he was the owner of the Virgin Airlines. So ultimately, this is a very well understood fact that, okay, if you're taking care of the people, people are actually taking forward your business. So if we are taking care of them, definitely that will go through. Then it will also help to ensure the better work-life balance and improved overall quality of life for the employees. And definitely, when the employees are having the better quality of life, definitely we can expect a better, you can say, performance from them, and definitely the better contributions from them. And largely, when people are working dedicatedly, when people are working with efficiency, so what will happen? So largely we can say that, okay, we can save loss, we can save a lot of cost savings can happen for the organizations. They can have the better best practices, which has largely been proposed by the employees within the organization. And I think quality circle is the best example. So this Japanese techniques of quality circle, that has actually given us, you can say, the way forward. A lot many things that, okay, if you're treating your people right, and there's an equity in the workplace, so definitely all these kind of things definitely going to prevail and going to help the organization to do well in the future, and definitely to sustain and survive, you can say, in the longer run. Now, this is the theory, Adam's theory of equity at workplace. So generally, whenever there's an employee in an organization, so definitely he like to see that, okay, whatever the kind of contribution I'm making, so whether I'm getting that kind of output, because they used to compare their input and their output, and then they used to compare it with the external, you can say, members also within the organization also. So when Adam's theory is simply posits that people maintain a fair relationship between their performance and rewards in comparison to others, and then they compare it. So definitely, it's very, very essential to ensure that there's a fair relation, that there's a fair treatment, there's no discrimination. The employees are getting motivated by their job. So that is what we have to do, that we have to create a meaningful job in which his employer, in case his inputs are more than the outputs. So we have to be fair and just in our approach as an organization, where people are, where the people should get that understanding that, okay, if I'm putting my time, effort, skill set, and my creativity in the organization, so the kind of outcome which I'm getting in terms of salary, in terms of incentives, in terms of benefits, in terms of recognition, that is actually matching it. Because in case there is a imbalance between input and outcome, so what will happen? The person is getting demotivated, and ultimately, when this demotivation is occurring, ultimately the performance of the organization, because if the employee performance is suffering, so ultimately we can say the organizational performance is suffering. And definitely we can't ensure the organization's success in that particular case. Now, there another thing is organization justice. So when we talk about the organization justice, we're talking about three particular aspects. First is distributive justice, procedural justice, and interactional justice. So definitely, what is the overall perception of the employees in their workplace? So are they feeling that, okay, the kind of processes that are being followed, you can say, so in the organization, so is there the procedural justice? So is there is a particular format which has been followed for everybody? You can say, is there equity in that? So is there any fairness in the distribution of the outcome? You can say the kind of rewards that are being given to the people. And then interaction justice. Am I treated with dignity and respect in my organization? So I think this organization justice becomes very, very important. And then if we are related with the other motivational theories, so we can expect, see, whatever the person will going to put going to put his or her efforts in a particular job only when they feel that, okay, after putting a particular inputs, I will be going to get certain kind of output, which is very much valuable to me, and which you can see. So what is an expectation? So there's an expectation on everyone's front, right? Every employee is expecting that, okay, if I'm going to put this much effort for this particular kind of thing, so I will be getting this kind of reward. But is that reward that organization is trying to give me, for example, is that I need? So if you want me to put some efforts, I'm ready for that. But if it is not fulfilling my, you can say, my need, so definitely I'm not that motivated, and ultimately the performance definitely will going to suffer. So somewhere there's a strong relationship, you can say, between equity and between the organizational performance and the motivation, obviously. So we have to ensure that we are having the organization justice, and definitely so that we can motivate our people and so that they can contribute their best to the organization. And just moving ahead, so how we can demonstrate equity in the workplace for organization success? So there are a few things. The first suggestion is that we need to connect equity to our culture and the values. And when we talk about our culture and values, we're talking about the organization culture and our value system. So we should walk the talk. It should not be like that we are doing something and we are saying something and we are doing something. So walk the talk. That's the first thing that you need to do. Do an equity audit of your organization. This is very, very essential. Now, we have to understand that, okay, we had made certain policies, we had made certain processes, but it also very essential to understand that, okay, whether these policies and whether these processes are actually helping the organization in ensuring the equity or not. So if it is not, then we have to rework on our equity policies, that how we can make them more equitable in the organization. And then we need to understand that we have to recognize that might be that policy in practice may differ from policies on paper. So what we are writing and what we are doing, there could be a lot of difference. So somewhere we have to work on that particular aspect also. We need to give a platform to the people where they can openly like voice their opinions about their concerns, like for example, town halls, annual change meetings, initiatives that can provide equal opportunities for all the employees so that they can actually raise their concern and they can speak of their mind, whatever is going on. Then we have to engage employees in a meaningful task and projects that can actually involve the diverse departments and the teams, individuals, where they can collaboratively, they can work together by establishing shared goals and value system, by building trust and a sense of community. So definitely that will definitely going to ensure the good performance and definitely leading to organizational success. And then we need to promote and encourage open communication. We have to understand one thing: the people who are having a differing or the diverse viewpoint from ours, they are not our enemies. They are having their own perspective, and that we have to respect that. So in case we want to have a good teamwork, we need to have more inclusivity, we want to promote more equity. So we have to encourage more open communication and we need to promote teamwork. Then we need to have a supportive and positive workplace culture with policies that augments mental wellness. So I think during COVID and post-COVID, we are talking a lot about mental health. So definitely how organizations are taking care of their employees' mental well-being, that also becomes very, very important. So employers also need to improve productivity and to reduce their healthcare costs. And how they can do it? They can simply do it by creating a culture of belongingness. They don't need to do anything extraordinary, where something very special. They need to only create an environment where people are feeling valued, where people are feeling respected, where people are feeling heard. So if you're doing that, your hard work is done, and you need to spend so much money on the healthcare and other things. Because somewhere we have to understand that organizing Friday parties and all these things that people are liking, no, that's not thing. We have to understand what are the actual needs of the people. So for that, we need to have that understanding of equity in our heads. Then we need to embrace equity and promote healthy working culture where they are feeling valued and respected. And then we need to promote various initiatives where we can increase diversity, we can have more collaboration, we can have more team bonding, and where we can create a greater sense of inclusivity in the workplaces that lead to enhanced performance. And definitely when there's a more cooperative workplace where people are supporting each other. So definitely that's a positive environment in work culture that is actually benefit the employee and the organization as a whole. And definitely leaders' role is very, very prominent and very crucial. So you have to walk the talk. So leaders' commitment has to be there to ensure equity in ways that prioritize employee well-being and that supports long-term success and growth. So for example, you have to make sure and see, there is a very beautiful article and there's a beautiful book also, that Good to Great. So in this Good to Great book by Jim Collins, he's basically talking about, okay, what kind of things we can do and how we can become from good organization to a great organization. So definitely you can't be a great organization until unless you're treating the people right. So if you really want to be more successful, we really want to, you can say, be the number one, you can say in our industry or in the world, or whatever the kind of rankings we would like to go for, we have to understand that we have to create that kind of sense of equity in the workplaces. We have to treat our people right. Now, these are a few examples which are working on the DEI. So this is one example of Cisco. So worldwide, they're having almost around 79,000 plus employees in the technological space. And what is their motto? So as per the Chuck Robbins, the CEO of the Cisco, so they said that, okay, Cisco will help bridge gaps of inequity and exclusion worldwide through the technology we build, our scale and extended ecosystem, our commitment to corporate social responsibility and social justice. So when we are talking about social justice, simply means that whosoever is working in an organization, they are not feeling left out. They are not feeling cheated. They are not feeling discriminated. So somewhere we have to work on these particular things, and this is what they are doing. So diversity matters, Cisco, and that is why uh, they are having 50% of the workforce, which are representing, you can say, the non-white, you can say the Asians and the black people. There also been a focus on bringing more women into this sphere. And this is also increasing area. We can see that the 42% of the senior managers are now women. And they are spending around 5 million to build deep analytics just to understand, okay, which they now run on a regular basis, that, okay, pay parity, that whether there's a pay parity, and I think there's no as a discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, gender, and people are paid less for the similar kind of a jobs. And even the best part is they're also working, you can say they got the best workplace award for women LGBTQ members in the formal military, because they are having a lot many pride allies whom they are onboarding in their organizations. And they are actually exploring the multiple ways through which they can break the inequities and they can break down the barriers and they can create better inclusive workplaces where people can actually thrive. And the next is your Accenture. So Accenture, as largely they're the well-known organizations. So there also we are having more than 38,000 people who are working worldwide. So they are also working a lot in this direction. So Accenture has an unwavering commitment, you can say, to diversity and inclusion. And for this, they can create a 360 value for our clients and communities and all our stakeholders. So, and how they're doing it? So they are voted number one, you can say, in the Refinitive's Diversity and Inclusion Index. And even if you go to the Great Place to Work rankings also, they are also faring there. So simply because they are actually committed, you can say, for creating a culture of belonging and equity, and they're advocating flexible working and talent development. And definitely the company has also invested around 1.1 billion L&D opportunities for people. And moreover, they are also trying to create a gender balanced workforce. So where you can say that 47% of the company employees are females, and moreover, they're also having LGBTQ community people. That means they are making policies, you can say, while they're hiring also, where they're hiring people from the LGBT community also. And nobody is getting, you can say, discriminated. And moreover, whether people are disabled talent is being there. So how we can utilize them for the organization success. So they're working by that. And moreover, they've also announced new goals to create a workplace that is more representative of the communities, whether by increasing its ethnic and racial diversity hiring in South Africa and UK and the US by 2025. So I think organizations are doing a lot in this particular thing. So if I talk about all these particular aspects, so yes, there are a lot many things which organizations are doing, and but a lot of things has yet to be done, I think, because it's just a beginning, just a start. So if you really want to leverage, you can say, the advantages of better of the workplaces and the employees that we are having, the talent that we are having in the workplace, we need to create inclusive workplaces where the equity is the paramount, where people are feeling valued and respected.
So, sir,
So,
can we say
any
that
questions?
inclusivity leads to equity?
Yes. So somewhat this is very much related because it's a very valid question. So if we are able to create an environment which is very inclusive, where the people from the diverse walks of life, whether I'm a male, female, I'm a transgender for that matter, for example, because recently might be knowing that the government has passed this transgenders bill in 2019. And it will be no surprise that now we could see that there will be a lot of appointments of transgenders people also in the public services. And similarly, similar kind of practices are also being promoted by the various MNCs and the various multinational companies. So somewhat this is just a beginning. So when the people are feeling that, okay, we are inclusive, people are not judging us, and largely we are respected for whatever the contribution we are making. So definitely you are creating, you can say, an equitable place,
Work environment.
work culture, where people are actually willing to work and definitely want to give their best to the organizations.
Right. So basically the individualization we are talking about,
Yeah,
taking
so
care about
largely
individual
individualization, rather we can say personalization, and largely more customization
personalization.
as per the needs of the people. That might, because my needs are different from yours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so what Kushbu is needing and what Narendra is needing and what Swati and what Shruti is needing, that is very different. So somewhere I have to understand, because at times it appears that it is difficult to do, but it's not actually. Because if we can customize the product and services for our customers, can't we do it for our employees? The question is very simple.
Right. So are there any other questions for Dr. Nareen?
Any questions? I would love to address that.
So, all right, sir. So I would really appreciate, sir, the effort that you have put into making this workshop so informative and so engaging. And on behalf of Delhi Metropolitan Education and on behalf of the conference conveners, Dr. Navya Jain, I believe she is here in this meeting. So I express sincere gratitude for enlightening workshop on the equity at the workplace. And that's quite informative, sir.
So thanks a lot, and everyone for patient listening, and whatever the little knowledge I had, so I just try to share with all of you. So it was my pleasure to be with all of you and to share whatever I had. Thank you very much. So I'm very grateful to the conference conveners and to the entire management of Delhi Metropolitan College for inviting me for this masterclass. Thank you very much.
So just one small request. Can I request all the participants to switch on the camera so that we can have one group photograph? We can just wait for a few seconds. All of you are requested to please switch on the cameras, the videos. Okay, Pooja ma'am, shall we take the picture?
Yes, Mama. Few more people are still
Yeah,
opening,
they are
so I
still
was
joining.
just.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yes, ma'am, we can go ahead.
I've taken the photo.
Okay, and the attendance form is circulated in the chat box, right? So all of you are requested to please fill the form. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, sir. It's pleasure having you here. So your mic is on mute.
It's a pleasure, like with all of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I'm keeping the meeting open for another 2-3 minutes. So
Right.
please click on the feedback form and open it in the another window so that you have the link open on your device.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, team.